Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of Danny Phantom Vlogs Revisit. This time we're talking about the episode Destabilized. And this is the return of Danielle Phantom. Danny Phantom with an I. And I love these episodes. I love both of the episodes having to do with her. She's a really cool character. The whole her being a clone of Danny is really cool. And I kind of wish that the show had done a bit more with her. I wish that we didn't only see her twice in the whole show, because she doesn't show up in Phantom Planet, to my knowledge. To my knowledge, she's not even in like the background. So that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. But this was a really cool episode. I liked how she came back. Because she like the other clones, they all fell apart. They didn't have enough structural stability in order to stay together. And she's been fighting ever since their last battle with Vlad. She's been fighting to survive and trying to survive as much as she can, but she's reaching her limit, and so she came to Danny for help. And on her way there, she ends up coming across Valerie, who tricks her into thinking that she's a fan of Danny Phantom. And she incidentally ends up leading Valerie right to Danny. Then Danielle gets handed over to Vlad, while Valerie questions Danny. And he convinces her to help him rescue Danielle, and they show up at Vlad's manor, meet Vlad Plasmius, and he pretends that him and Vlad Masters are two separate people, just to trick Valerie. So Valerie, Danny, and Danielle all work together to beat Plasmius. Danielle is about to fall apart completely. Danny ends up using a new gadget from his dad that is supposed to weaken a ghost until there's nothing left. It's supposed to destabilize them, but he can't seem to get the kinks out of it. So instead of destabilizing a ghost, it revitalizes them and makes them stronger than ever. And so that's what he ends up using to save Danielle's life. After the battle, they say goodbye. They say goodbye, and Valerie tells Danny that he can go, but that she's going to be hunting him again starting tomorrow. So he leaves, and then Valerie goes back to check on Vlad Masters, and she finds out that Masters and Plasmius are one and the same. And so now she's on the hunt for him. One of the ghosts she's going to be hunting down is him. And that's it. This is the last time we see Danielle, and this is the last time Valerie gets any sort of attention, to be honest. She gets a cameo in Phantom Planet, but this was it. This was the end of her story. Which again is unfortunate. Butch Hartman did want there to be a fourth season. He wanted there to be a fourth season because he had other things that he wanted to do. He wanted to explore more of this, more of Danny's ice power. He wanted to explore more of Danny's ice power, and he wanted to be able to use the. He wanted to have Danny use the ghostly whale some more, and he wanted to like give Danny another power. There was another power that he wanted to give Danny, but he never got around to doing. And then he wanted to do things with certain characters, like Valerie. He had a lot more he wanted to do with her, and Danielle, same thing. He had more stuff that he wanted to do with Danielle, and the Fright Knight. The Fright Knight made an alliance with Vlad Plasmius, but we never really got to see what came of that. So that was supposed to be, that we were supposed to get an answer to that in the fourth season, but it got canceled with its third season. So, yeah. So in the middle of creating the third season, they were told that they were being canceled, and so the third season wound up being half as long as it was supposed to be, which is very unfortunate. So, but yeah, the show was originally supposed to be 4 seasons. Danny Phantom was originally supposed to be 4 seasons, but the 4th season got cut and season 3 got cut in half. So we never, unfortunately, we will never get to see what the last 28 episodes would have been like, because each season was supposed to have 20 episodes. This one had 13 if you count Phantom Bond as a 2-parter. So yeah, so like we will never get to see what the last 27 episodes would have been like, but we know a couple things that he wanted to have happen, and we'll get into that later. I will be covering everything possible. Everything I can possibly cover. I'm trying to cover all of my bases with this. But yeah, as far as this episode goes, I liked it. I really liked it. Is it better or worse than than Kindred Spirits? The first episode with Danielle? Honestly, I would say it's on par. I would say they're both about the same amount of good. I'd say they're both great episodes. I believe I gave that A. I believe I gave Kindred Spirit an A. So that's what I would give this. And I would give it an A. But yeah, I like it. I like it. It's a really good episode. I wish that we had gotten more of Danielle and more of Valerie, but this was still a really good episode this was still a pretty good episode to end their story arcs on, and it wound up being a really good penultimate episode. It's the penultimate episode. The finale is next. I liked this. This was a good penultimate episode. So it gets an A. In any case, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button, all that good jazz, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.